Hi, and welcome to today's session. Today, I wanted to do a short practice that'll help bring about a little bit more flexibility and mobility in our hips. Know that that is not a requirement for this session. All you're going to need today is your mat and a block to help support us. If you don't have that, know that that's okay. You just have to modify a little bit as we go. And just please listen to your body as we move through some of these practices because our hips have a tendency to be tight, especially if we're carrying a lot emotionally. Today, for the practice, all we're going to need is our mat and our block. So we'll just gather that and we'll begin whenever you're ready. So today we will actually begin easy and on our backs. So move your prop aside if you did have a pillow or a block with you, but just slowly come onto your mat, nice and easy. And then if you'd like, you can have your knees bent with the feet nice and wide and your knees knocked in together to help create a little bit more space for the back of the hips. Okay, so either placing your hands on your hips or maybe over your heart and over your belly, whatever feels good, or even maybe out to the sides. We'll just take a couple of deep breaths to slow everything down. Gently relaxing the jaw, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the hips. And we'll take 2 more big inhales and exhales here. Take a big breath in. Take a pause at the top, followed by a big exhale as you let it go. And then one more like that, big breath in. And then again, a big breath out. Good. Gently wiggle through your fingers and your toes. And then you'll heel walk your feet together, keeping the knees bent. We'll gently bring our hands down to our sides. And we're going to start with Supta Baddha Konasana, so butterfly pose, but we're going to have our arms join the party. So on your next inhale, open up your knees out to the sides. Take your arms all the way up overhead, allowing your hips to open naturally. And then as you exhale, close the knees and bring the arms back down to your sides. Good. Another big inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Allow the knees to gently open. Allow your lower back to gently arch. And then exhale, release the arms and bring the knees back together. Good. We'll do one more like that. Inhale, arms up overhead, knees out to the sides. And then as you exhale, you're just going to gently bring your hands to your thighs, allowing a little bit of the gravity to help support the hips opening. And we'll take 2 breaths here. Really good. One more. Find another big inhale as you take the arms back up overhead. And then as you exhale, bring the arms back down and then close the knees together. Take your time to slowly bring your knees into your chest, gently rounding through your lower back.
That's correct.
And then maybe bring your knees out to the side so that they're slightly wider. And then make some big circles with your knees going in opposite direction, just to start moving in and out of our hips. Good. Allow the circles to go in the opposite direction, so maybe out and in this time.
And half.
Good. Then we'll gently place the feet back down onto the mat, but hip distance apart. And then we'll have your feet close to our hips. We'll tuck our shoulders underneath so it creates a nice flat platform against our upper back. We're going to gently push down into the big toe mounds and the inner arches of our feet as we press down into our feet and lift the hips up nice and high. Feel your glutes engage at the very top. And then as exhale, hold it there. See if you can find another big inhale, lift a little bit higher. And then exhale, lower everything back down towards the ground. Good. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, squeeze the hips up. Don't let your knees come out to the sides. Keep pointing your knees forward. Exhale, hold. Find another big inhale as you lift a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, roll it down nice and slow. Yeah, that was number 2. Can we do one more for number 3? Inhale again, squeeze as you lift. Engage the glutes at the top. And then inhale again as you lift a little bit higher. And then find your exhales as you lower the hips back down, one vertebrae at a time. Good. You're going to take your time to slowly bend your knees back into your chest. but this time we're going to grab the backs of the thighs rather than our shins. And then we're going to just bring your knees out nice and wide out to the sides. You're going to slowly start to bring your feet up towards the sky so that you're in a happy baby position, or a malasana, squat in your back. And then if you're like, okay, this is good, you can be right here. If you're like, you take it a little bit farther, see if you can reach your hands up towards the tops of your feet so that you can really press down into those feet as you gently give yourself a rock side to side. Feeling a gentle hip opener here. Okay, so allow yourself to rock for 2 more breaths. Really good. Last one. Good. Gently bring your knees to a close as you let your feet relax down towards your hips. And then you can gently just roll yourself off to your favorite side. And then utilize your arms to gently push yourself up to your seat. Good. Once you arrive, you're just going to rotate yourself around onto your hands and knees so that you can come into a tabletop position. So have your index finger and middle finger parallel to the front of the mat. So it's gentle, so slight external rotation through the arms. And then make sure the knees are stacked right underneath your hips. So on your next inhale, you'll drop the belly as you lift your gaze, lift your tailbone. And then as you exhale, round the spine as you tuck your tailbone underneath. Good. Inhale again, drop the belly, lift your gaze. And then exhale again as you round. Good. We'll do one more like that. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Tailbone lifts. And then exhale again as you push the earth away. Good. Create a nice neutral spine. We'll continue the cat-cow with an extended leg. We'll take our right leg and bring it all the way out towards the right side, flattening the foot against the earth. Toes are pointing towards the front of the room. On your next inhale, again, tilt your pelvis up as you look up for cow. It'll feel a little bit different, maybe through your inner thighs. And then exhale again as you arch and round, pushing the earth away, pressing down into that right foot. Good. Inhale again, drop the belly, lift your gaze. Tailbone lifts. And then exhale again as you round the spine. Good. We'll do one more like that. Inhale. And then again, exhale. Good. Come back into a nice neutral spine. Start to walk the hands back and come up into gate pose. Make sure your hips are pressing forward so that your knees, hips, and shoulders are in one line. Inhale, reach both arms up nice and high. And then exhale, take a side bend towards that extended leg. You can take that right arm and rest it on that leg as you take that left arm up and overhead. Good. Do your best to keep pressing your hips forward. Really good. 2 more breaths. Good. Last one. Good. Gently bring both arms all the way back up high. And then exhale, start to hinge the hips back as you lower the hands back down towards the earth. And then once you arrive, you're going to take your hands and walk them over towards the right side as you slide that right foot out a little bit farther. And once you find your hips in your center line rather than your left leg, you're going to gently come down to elbows. On your inhales, you're going to shift the weight forward into the elbows. And then as you find your exhale, you're going to push your hips back. And you should feel a pretty intense stretch here. Inhale again, center. Push your weight forward. And then exhale again, push back into those hips. Good. We'll do 2 more like that. Inhale. Exhale, pull it back. Good. And then 1 more. Inhale forward. And then exhale, pull it back. Good. Take your time to shift your weight back towards the front. Walk your hands back up to your hands. And then walk your hands back to the center of your mat as you use your right foot to slide. Use your hips, though, to slide that foot closer to you. And then slowly release that knee back down towards the earth. Good. We'll do the same thing on the left side. Take your left foot and bring it out to the side. So I'll change my position so it's easier to see. So bring that left foot out to the side, in line with your right knee still. And then on your next inhale, drop the belly as you lift your gaze. And then as you exhale, round the spine as you push the earth away. Good. Inhale again, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Again, exhale, round the spine. Good. One more time like that. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, come back into a nice neutral spine, and then slowly start to come back up into your gate pose. Again, keep pressing your hip bones forward. Inhale, reach both arms up high. And then exhale, take a side bend over towards your left. And then this time, bring that left hand to that supporting leg as you rotate that right chest up open towards the sky. We're internally rotating that arm so that the pinky is facing down towards the mat as you really reach towards that side. And then see if you can take 2 more breaths. Good. One more. Good. Take your time to slowly come all the way back up to the top. And then as you exhale, hinge the hips back so you can lower the hands back down. And then again, walk your hands over towards the left side as you slide that left foot out towards the side so that your hips become your center rather than that right leg. And then slowly come down to elbows. Take a nice big inhale breath here. And then as you exhale, push the hips back. Good. Inhale again, shift the weight forward. Exhale again as you shift the weight back. Good. Can we do 2 more like that? Inhale forward. Exhale back. Good. One more time. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Good. Gently start to walk back up into your hands as you shift your weight back forward. And then use the inner thigh muscles to slide that left foot in. Good. And then you're going to slowly bring that knee back to neutral. Good. So from this neutral position, we're going to allow our knees, toes to tuck, allow our knees to come out nice and wide onto our mat, gently tuck our toes back behind us, and just find a gentle child's pose. So this one is a hip opener too, allowing our hips to ground down towards our heels, maybe bringing our chin onto the mat to allow our heart to melt down forward into the mat a little bit more, and then pressing down into your palms as you breathe nice and big. We'll find 2 more here. Really good. Last one. Yeah, take your time to slowly roll yourself back up to your hands and your knees, and then we'll gently bring our knees to close. Good. We're going to create some space onto our mat to swing our right leg forward. So you're going to walk your hands over towards the left side of the mat to create some space on the right side, and then you're going to take that right foot and slide it all the way up to the front of the mat. Good. This is where a block might come in handy if you'd like to bring the floor up a little bit higher to meet you where you're at. It gives you a little bit more space to hinge forward into your hips like this. Good. So from here, we're going to move a little bit dynamically, so we're not going to hold this for very long. So I want you to think about inhaling and pressing down into that back knee, that front foot, pressing the hips forward, lifting through your chest. But then as you exhale, start to send the hips back, lifting the front toes and finding a gentle forward fold. Good. Inhale again, step back into that front foot. Lift through your chest. And then exhale again as you send the hips all the way back. And lift the toes, straightening the leg. Good. Do that a couple more times. Inhale, step forward. Lift through your chest. Inhale. And then exhale again as you send the hips back and lifting the toes. Good. One more time. Inhale, step forward. Lift through your chest. And then exhale again as you send the hips back and round as you lift the toes. Good. Gently step back into that foot once more. And then you're going to bring your hands down onto the mat and then slide that right foot all the way back around so that we can come onto the opposite side. So you're going to this time walk your hands over towards the right side of the mat, take your left foot and swing it out towards the front. And then either have the block onto the inside of that leg, or if you don't have a block, you can always just bring your hands onto the front, coming onto your fingertips for this position here. So I want you to think about really pushing forward into that front knee as you drop the hips, opening through your chest. Find your inhale breath here. Yeah. And then as you exhale, hinge the hips back, lift the toes, straighten out that front leg. Inhale again, step back into that foot, lift through your chest. I like the block. Gives more space. And then exhale, send the hips back, lift the toes as you forward fold. Good. See if you can do that 2 more times. Move as slow as you need. Find your inhales in your lunge. And then exhales as you send it back. Good. One last time. Inhale forward. And then exhale back. Good. Gently start to step back into that foot. And then we're going to just transition to standing. So from here, you're going to tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up off the mat so that you can pivot and bring yourself all the way to center. So you're going to turn your left foot in and have a nice wide stance through your legs. So once you find that nice wide leg, you're going to take a nice wide-legged forward fold. So take your arms back behind you or have your hands at your hips. Rotate the elbows and shoulders back. Use your inhales to look up. And then as you find your exhale, hinge forward. And then you can keep your hands where they are. You can take the hands up overhead if you'd like a shoulder opener, or if you just like to support yourself, you can bring your hands down and just gently press yourself a little bit deeper into your fold. Really good. 2 more breaths. Really good. Last one. Good. Take your time to gently lift through your torso. Inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to find skandasana on either side. So what you're going to do is you're going to walk your hands over towards the right as you turn your right toes out towards the right side and find a squat to any capacity. So even if you're just right here, you're in a really good spot. If you feel like you can bring it all the way down and pivot that left toe up, you can find yourself here. Just keep using that right arm to help open up that right hip. And then if you can, come back into your hands, lean forward. Walk your hands to the other side. Turn your left toes out towards the left side so the knee tracks in the same direction. And same thing. See if you can get your hips nice and low. So even if you're right here, you're in a good spot. If you can bring it down all the way, use your left arm to open up that hip. Please do so. And then just go back and forth just like that. So you can move as slow as you need. It doesn't have to be full range, as long as you can feel this big opening happening through your hips, inner and outer, as your muscles engage to help support the movement. So know that it will load a little bit more into the knees every time the knee goes over the toes. So be mindful of that. And make sure that you're still breathing nice and big as you go back and forth. Good. One more time on each side to the right. Good. One more time on the left. Use your inhales to walk. Your exhales to settle. Good. Gently come all the way back to center. Good. You're going to pivot both of your feet over towards the front of the room. Lower the back knee down, and then send your left foot back to meet the right. And then we'll close it up with one more cat-cow. So on your next inhale, drop the belly, lift your gaze. And then use your exhales to round the spine. Good. From here, you're going to cross the ankles, walk your hands back, and find yourself in your comfortable seat. If that's not accessible, you could just swing your legs around and find your comfortable seat that way. But once you arrive into the center of your mat, you're going to bring your knees and your feet nice and wide onto them so that you can bring your knees side to side. Think about keeping your hips nice and low. And it's not just this portion of the leg that's rotating. Think about rotating from the femur. So think about really rotating from the hip as you bring that down, keeping your hip rotating back as the knee comes down. And do that on either side, really focusing on that internal rotation, because we're about to do a big external one. Good. Once you allow bring your knees back to center, you're going to extend your left leg out in front of you. Take that right knee and cross it over that right ankle and cross it over that left knee. And then you can slowly start to bring that left foot closer to you. So once you start bringing that leg up, you'll start feeling a huge stretch happening in that right hip, piriformis to be exact. Let's see if you can keep rotating that right knee away from the rest of you. Use your torso to gently puff your chest up towards your shin, and even just doing that motion will help really opening up into that hip. And if you'd like to lean a little bit forward, if that's accessible, you can do that as well. If at any point in this position, if you feel like you're clenching your breath or breathing becomes really hard, know that you might be taking it a little bit too far. So give yourself a little bit of ease so that you can breathe into it. Take a couple of deep breaths and your body will open, which gives you space to come out a little bit deeper. So allow yourself to take your time to check in with the body and notice how it feels. Notice the thoughts that kind of come and go while you're in stillness. And notice how your brain deals with what's difficult. So sometimes the sensations that are created here can be very emotional, can be very big. So just check in and notice, because that's where change begins. We can't change anything if we don't notice what needs to be changed. So just check in, notice, and breathe through it, knowing that the sensation, as well as everything else, is temporary. Do your best to relax your jaw, your shoulders. And then see if you can enjoy it the best you can for 4 more breaths. Really good. Last 3. Good. 2 more. Good. Last one. Good. Take your time to slowly move away from the legs as you take your arms back behind you for support. Slide that left leg out from underneath so that you can uncross that right leg. Give your legs a nice big shake to help shake things out. And then if you'd like, you can take a couple of 90-90s just to help unlock everything, because we were in a hold for a while before you come onto the other side. So this time left ankle is going to cross over right knee. So same rules apply. You can just have that left ankle flexed. Slowly start to slide that right foot closer to you, only as far as you can go, and gently lean forward. If you feel like you want to be more back here with the leg bent a little bit more, know that that's an option. Just put a lot of weight in the wrists. But wherever you are, allow yourself to breathe through. Again, the sensations are temporary, just like a lot of our emotions are when we go throughout the day. And this is our way of kind of checking into how we handle those things. And that's why they say that yoga is kind of a mirror. It kind of shows you how you deal with the things that are in your life. Not only the bad, but also the good. So allow yourself to settle. Take a couple of deep breaths. And do your best to relax every other part of the body as you hone your focus into your hips. Really good. Last 4. And final 3. Good. 2 more. Really good. Last one. Good. And gently release. And then reach out the leg. Uncross the ankle. Give your legs a nice big shake. And then this time you're going to lay yourself down, but make sure that the block is within reach. So bring your heels to the edge of the mat, gently lower yourself all the way down. And then once you arrive, you're just going to bend your knees one more time. And then allow yourself to press down into your feet so you can lift your hips. And then you're going to take that block or that pillow to either the low setting or the medium setting, depending on how intense you want it to be. And you want it to be underneath your butt. So not your lower back or your thighs, but like that hard portion of your butt that is right above the really fluffy part of it. And then you can extend your legs out nice and straight. So you might have to make a couple of adjustments to notice what position feels good for you. There's a bunch of spots that won't feel really good, but there's one sweet spot that feels really supportive. So once you find that, extend the legs out nice and straight, and this can be a nice hip opener for the front of the hips. You can also try the higher setting, and if you notice it's too intense, you can keep one leg bent and keep one leg extended to modify, just to do one side at a time. Or if it's too high, allow yourself to lower down so that you can find a more comfortable position. Because number 1 is listening to the body. Number 2 is taking my guidance. Know that everything I say is secondary to how your body feels. So as you check in one final time, you can bring your hands out to the sides or place your hands on the hips, whatever feels good for you. Allow your breathing to soften as it starts to slowly come back to its natural pace and rhythm. Release your jaw, all the small muscles of your face. Release the tension in your shoulders, unclench your hips. Let your feet fall out. And just take notice of the sensations that might be subtly living in the body. As you give yourself the space and the opportunity just to let go and be. As we take one last moment in stillness, we'll fill ourselves up with breath, gently waking the body. Taking a pause at the top, followed by a big exhale as you let it go. Gently wiggling through your fingers and your toes.
Yes.
And if one last full body stretch does call to you, allow yourself to reach through your arms and maybe through your heels of your feet one final time. And once you've finished, take your time to slowly bend the knees one at a time. Gently press down into those feet to lift the hips. Take the prop out from underneath. Just slowly lower the hips back down towards the ground. Give yourself that gentle rounding sensation through your lower back as you hug your knees back into your chest. And as you give yourself that love, knowing that you did your best and you showed up for yourself today, take your time to slowly roll over to your favorite side, coming into that comfortable fetal position to help you reset for the rest of the day. So as you take one last moment for gratitude for our bodies, acknowledging everything that has come and gone physically, mentally, emotionally in our practice, we'll take our time to slowly press back up to our comfortable seat. Once we arrive, we'll take one hand over heart, one hand over belly, finding gratitude for this practice, our bodies, in this space for us to grow together. Thank you so much for being here and for allowing me to guide your practice today, from my heart to yours. Thank you so much for being here. I hope your hips are feeling a little bit more mobile from the practice today, and I hope to see you in the next one.